And the numbers are already starting to go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Coming into Virtual Parties 201. Hi, Tara. Over 200.
Yeah, so excited to have everyone here.
Very excited.
That have joined us before, you know I am in my bathroom office. This may be my last week in the bathroom office because the bathroom may actually get fixed soon. So I could be joining you all next week from a different office location. We'll be seeing.
Keeping the variety alive over there, Jackie. I like it.
Yes.
Always leave them wanting more.
Yes.
And you see me in my very cold basement right now, as always. You will not see me in a different location. This is my office here. And it snowed in Chicago over the weekend, so it's extra cold in my basement right now.
Oh my gosh, it was not happy to see snow on the ground this morning.
No.
And then I did make my husband commute to Chicago today on my webinar days, so he's not here.
Oh.
And of course, it's like the day there was a 50-car pileup.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, going into the city. I'm sure he's not happy with me.
All right, we've got about 400 people on. We're going to give this a couple of more minutes.
Oh, we'd love to see where everyone's coming from. I just saw someone from Canada. I'm sure it's chilly there too.
I'll open up the chat.
Although I am jealous of anyone that is able to like just walk out on their back porch and soak in some sun. If you have a pool, I'm double super jealous.
Oh, we got a couple of people from Portland. I lived in Portland for 2 years before coming back here about 10 months ago. Some really good restaurants out there. Oh, we got people coming in. The chat's blowing up. Grant Park, awesome.
Whoever has a pool. Well, you guys have lots of exciting stuff to share today. We're super excited about this topic. Looking forward to diving in. We're just going to give it like 2 or 3 more minutes, get everyone in.
Yep.
We started a little early today.
Yep, we got the early birds, which is great. And again, we'll say this a couple of times just to let you know, be present during this, take as many notes as you can and as you would like to, but you will be able to see the replay of this. You can find all of our replays of the Teach Me in the Stir, like even the Virtual Parties 101, which we did, and the bookings, like all the ones that we've been doing, you can find on the Stir. So you don't have to feverishly like try and get your phone out and take pictures of our screen. You'll be able to see it all in the replay as well. So just be present. Take as many notes as you can, and you'll be able to get the replay either in the Stir, but if you registered, you'll actually get it sent directly to you from Zoom.
Yeah.
Excellent. Give it a couple more minutes. Oh, hey, Charlotte from Minnesota. Thanks for joining. So Tina, you can go to the Stir and search Teach Me, and you'll see all the replays in there. Once we get them, we'll post them all up in there. You can search Teach Me. It's under a Teach Me tag, so you'll get all of them for you.
Yeah, and we try to really make sure that the replays are available within 1 business day. So you can definitely look tomorrow morning. Hopefully it should be up by then. We try to do it really quickly because we know that everyone really is hungry for this content. And while it's fresh in your mind, you'd love to be able to go back and take some extra notes.
Yeah. So it is 12 o'clock now. Let's move into sort of like the technical portion of this because we've got a lot of people joining right now. And we're seeing a lot of questions come in through chat, which is wonderful. So let's talk about the interactivity on these Teach Me's and how to be able to properly communicate with, all of your friends and all of your peers and be able to ask us questions that you need to get the answers to. So there's really 2 functions for interactivity here on these Teach Me's, and you can find them below. The first is the chat feature, and this is where you can interact with everyone, make jokes, share ideas, ask questions to your peers, and have conversations over there. We do just recommend that you make sure that the select drop down is actually pulled to all panelists and attendees so everybody can see what your ideas are and what you guys are thinking about. But if you want to ask us questions specifically about the topic that we are going through, use the Q&A. This is where you get to ask us questions, and we've got a panel of individuals standing by to answer all of your questions. We've got Libby, we've got Danny, we've got Kylie. They're all there for you to try and answer those questions. Now, I do recommend don't wait to the very end to just ask your questions. If you have a question and it sparks in your mind, even though we may be covering it in the webinar in a little bit, just ask your questions in there, and we are going to do our very, very, very best to answer all the questions that we can. We may not get to all of them. We apologize in advance. I think last Teach Me, we had over like 2,000 people on the Teach Me, and our Q&A was through the roof, which is great. And we were trying to answer all the questions as possible, but again, we're gonna do our best. We've got 3 people standing by, and we will also leave some time at the end to answer some Q&As. So looks like we still got that number going up. I think it's 12:03 by my time, so let's jump right on in. We've talked about the interactivity. Now, let's do some introductions. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Craig J. Newman, and I'm a manager of field training and development. What I do and what my team does is really try and bring you the right training at the right time to support your business. We do this in so many different ways. Last week, we supported with advanced directors and above with Empower. We do Dash is my baby. Do everything I can to bring relevant content to you guys to help grow and support your business. But we also do these Teach Me webinars, and I collaborate with people like Jackie and everybody else that's answering questions, Libby and her team. We do everything we can to help make your business as successful as possible. I love being able to do this. I like trying to be the guy in the background that just gives you other tools and resources to make you shine. And this sounds really cliche, but it's so very, very true. Your success is my success, which is why I love Pampered Chef, and I love being able to support you guys. So with that, I'm joined with my partner in crime, good friend of mine, Jackie. Why don't you say hi, Jackie?
Hi, everyone. Jackie Blessed here. For those of you who I've not had the chance to meet before, I've been with Pampered Chef for 15 years. And I've had an amazing journey where I started in the test kitchen for the first 12 years of my career. And then within the last 3 years, I've really been focused on party experience. And so as your field success manager, that is my role of how can I ensure that you have the tools and resources to have successful parties. And again, so thankful for my other team members that are on the call today, Kylie, Libby, and Danny. Again, give them big props. They're gonna be furiously answering questions today as quickly as they can. And we couldn't do what we do here without their support too.
Yeah, so very, very, very true. So thank you guys again. And thank you all for joining once again for Virtual Parties 201. So today we're going to be going through Virtual Parties 201. What that really means is we're going to build off of our Virtual Parties 101 Teach Me that we led a couple of weeks ago. So if you haven't seen that one yet, after this Teach Me, you don't have to leave right now. You can still stay, participate, absorb, be a sponge, absorb as much information as possible. But go back and watch the Virtual Parties 101 so you can get the full picture of what we're going to be talking about today, and we can really build off of that. Now, you can find all of the playbacks of our Teach Me on the Stir. All you have to do is go to the Stir, type Teach Me, and you'll be able to choose from our library of previous Teach Me's that we've offered in the past. So today, based off of your feedback, we're really going to, kick it up another notch. We're going to take it to the next level by not covering the basics, like how to set up a party, because we've covered that previously. You can also find that in Dash and virtual parties. You can see all of that. But we're really going to provide you with 5 practical tips for working your virtual parties with intent. We're going to do that by rediscovering your why and why that's the fuel to your Pampered Chef business. We're going to define your personal brand and why that's so important for your business as well. We're going to talk about host coaching tactics that work, and why host coaching, whether you're virtual right now and in the future when you're doing in-persons again, can't wait for that day to happen, but why it's the backbone of a successful party. We're going to talk about going live where it matters. And lastly, we're going to cover engaging with guests and one-on-one conversations that lead to future business. And of course, we're going to end with some Q&A so we can be able to answer your questions. Now, I want to let you know, the examples that we share today are based on how consultants are running parties on Facebooks. That's not plural, Facebook, which is the majority of actually how our consultants party today virtually. But regardless, these ideas and principles that we share today can be transferred over to any way that you party now and in the future. So Jackie, before we go any further, you want to give a couple of shout outs?
Yeah, so I wanted to take a moment and give a special shout out to consultants that have really helped partner with us on this content, and they continue to have an open door and share ideas with us. So if you're on the call or not on the call, I just want to make sure to give us a shout out to National Executive Director Stacy Itzel, to Erin Cacciolo, which I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it 100% right with that beautiful Brooklyn accent of yours, Danny Calentine, and also all of the other members of the Virtual Party Council. We really rely on that council to help us keep a pulse on what's really working in their businesses today. We learn from them every day, and we love that we're going to be able to share some of those best practices with this larger group today.
Yeah. Thank you again so much, everybody, for the support in this. Again, it helps us help all of our Pampered Chef family in supporting their business. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. So with the unusual situation, for lack of a better term, that we're in right now, I really think, and we really think it's important that we take a moment and pause and breathe so we can anchor ourselves in our why. And your why is why you may have started the business and why you choose to stay with Pampered Chef. Now, I want you to imagine something. Think about your Pampered Chef journey like a road trip. Your business is the vehicle that will drive you. Your goals are like the roadmap to ensure you're headed where you want to go. Now, the only thing that's missing is the fuel to get you from one point to another. Your why is that fuel to keep you motivated and focused on the true reason why you started the Pampered Chef business. Now more than ever, it's important that you take a moment to reflect on your why so you can focus on your ultimate goal. Focusing on a goal when things are going well is so much easier. But when your journey becomes challenging, that road becomes a little bit more rocky, you need that fuel. You need your why so you can stay motivated. So I want you to do a little bit of an exercise, and you don't have to share this in the chat. This is just for you. Grab a pen and a piece of paper or text yourself this. I want you to write this down for yourself. What's the one thing that is most important for you in this business? Again, that question, and just write this down for yourself. What's the one thing that is most important for you in this business? Is it to earn extra income, pay off debt, just have a flexible schedule? Write it down. When the going gets tough, keep remembering your why and keep remembering your goal. That's going to be your fuel. So today, our goal is to help you reach your why by taking your virtual parties to the next level. So I hope you're ready. So to take your parties to the next level, it's important that we define your personal brand. Now, as the majority of what we do on these Teach Me's, we have a lot of content for you in Dash that supports this. So you can get information here and you can get it on your own time in Dash. And you can learn more about developing your personal brand in the social media program on Dash. To be able to access this, I do want to let you know that you have to complete virtual party training, which is located in party training in Dash as well. So once you complete that, the social media program will unlock for you. Now, I'm assuming since you're on Virtual Parties 201, you've already done that. But if not, go back and take that course and the social media program will unlock for you. And a couple of weeks ago, we unlocked virtual party training for everybody that already has a party in the system. So you should have access to it. So go through and refresh yourself so you can go in and get this content in the social media program. So what is a personal brand? It sounds so like high level and so professional, but it's so important. Your personal brand lives at the intersection of how you see yourself and how others see you. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but I want you to think about it from a different angle. When you see a celebrity, it's those couple of things that you first think of that define their personal brand, like those emotions that you get. When you think about who they are as an individual, that is their personal brand. So we're going to do a little activity. We're going to do an exercise. So go to the chat, pull it up. I want you to think about Joanna Gaines. If you don't know who she is, she's a host of Fixer Upper with her husband. She owns a construction company. She owns Magnolia Homes. She also created a couple of restaurants and now a couple of cookbooks. What I want you to do is in a couple of words, describe her personal brand. Now, if you still can't make that connection, what feelings do you get? What emotions do you get when you see her? How do you think she is as an individual? So I'm going to go into the chat. Family, honest. Oh my God, this is going so quickly. Diverse, entrepreneur, creative, family, faith, clean. I love this. You're hitting it right on its head. That is her personal brand. That is her professional brand as well. It's family oriented. It's warm. It's passionate. You connect with her style and aspire to be able to bring that into your own home. So then the question becomes, how do you define your personal brand? So we're going to do another activity. We're going to do another exercise. And this is just a starting point for discovering and defining your own personal brand. This isn't the end all be all. It's a great starting point so you can go off and begin to craft this and shape this over time. So grab that pen and a piece of paper, and we're going to do this one question at a time. So in one word, I just want you to write down and describe your personality. Is it outgoing? Is it fun? Is it demanding? There is absolutely no wrong answer here. This is your personal brand. It's what you bring to the table. So write that down. The second question I want to ask you is, in one word, describe your tone of voice. Is it calm? Is it comedic? Is it defiant? Is it funny, caring, educational? All of those are valid. And again, no right or wrong answer here. This is you. This is your personal brand. I can't tell you what it is. And then last but not least, how do you enrich lives? We're pulling this all together. Do you love to cook? Or do you have to cook? Big difference there. What's your speciality? What's your passion? So write that down as well. So we've got Jackie on the phone. You've been with Pampered Chef for 1, 2, 3, forever. So yeah, I want to ask you, in knowing all of this, what's your personal brand?
Yeah, and you know what I would like to say is your personal brand may shift, because when I started here, I didn't have kids. I was a huge foodie, ate at all of the top restaurants. My cooking style was different, but I've shifted as I have grown in my life. So today I would say I'm a hectic, crazy mom to 2 boys who brings a little humor every day by sharing my daily mishaps. I love to cook, but focus on quick, easy meals I can get on the table in 30 minutes or less.
No, and I think that's great. It's short, it's sweet, it lets me know who you are. But when I tune in and I see you, you live that to the fullest. And I don't necessarily have as much of a crazy, hectic life. I don't have two boys. I've got a puppy that's right next to me, and I've got my wife upstairs, and she's working right now. But I love to tune in to see Jackie and her mishaps, her just daily run of crazy town in her house. And I love tuning in just to watch that. But that is who she is. So once you've defined, and again, this may take some time, or you may know this already, but once you've defined your personal brand, it needs to come through in everything you do for your business. This is the true secret in how you can build relationships in your party and in your business. So let's dive how you can bring your personal brand into your host coaching and parties to create true engagement with your guests. So with that, we're going to go into host coaching tactics that work. Jackie, do you want to cover this for us?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
So sorry, my voice is a little crackly today, but you've probably heard this before. But your host's involvement in the party is the difference between a party that rocks or a party that flops. And there's 5 things that consultants are doing consistently that's really driving their successful virtual business. And again, I saw some of the chat that was like, I'm having a hard time qualifying parties. This content is really going to help you and understand the things that you can do with your host. So the 5 things are relationship building, planting the seed 5 times to join your team, the host participation in the party, that host challenge that we've talked about for a couple Teach Me's now, and partnering with that host to close the party strong. Now, first, you want to build a relationship with your host. So Senior Director Erin Cacciolo contributes a lot of the success of her virtual parties based on these tips. And the numbers don't lie. I just want to share some of Erin's success over the last month and a half. So in March, she had over $12,000 in personal sales. She submitted 17 parties and had 9 recruits. And so that means that her virtual party average is over $700 a party. And this month is even stronger, with 9 parties submitted so far, with over $8,000 in sales. And she is still recruiting strong too. And her average party is over $900. And I just want to point out something. She is in the middle of New York City, guys, in Brooklyn, where it is hit hard. And she is seeing that people are needing what we have to offer. But all of that starts with connecting with your host first. And so these are Erin's tips on how she develops that relationship with her hosts. So the first thing that she does is she friends them on Facebook, or you can follow on Instagram. And you want your host to get to know the real you. So as soon as that party is booked, even if it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now, friend your host. You want to invite them into your world, and they want to get to know you personally. So even though you will never meet face to face, they feel like they know you just from what you were sharing on social media, and they feel connected to you. Second, make sure you sincerely care about the success of their party. It's not your party, it is their party. So make sure the party is all about them and not you. It's your job to partner with that host to make sure that they can earn their host reward goals and everything they're looking to get out of the party. And third, make sure that host feels like a priority and not just another number. We know some of our virtual party rock stars are running 5 to 10 parties a week. And so it is really important that you make them feel special and connected to you, and not just a number of one of your hosts this week. And this is really where your personal brand and that tone of voice is so important. All right. Now, when we were developing Dash, we heard from our consultant partners, and we had NEDs as part of that group, directors, and even consultant level. That it's really important that you talk about the opportunity with your host 5 times. It's really important that you don't prejudge your host, and you ask every host about joining your team. And don't just do it once, right? I think if there's anything that we've learned over the last month, is just doing something once isn't going to yield results. But you want to ask 5 times. Now, this approach can be done in a way that is conversational and focused on what's in it for the host. Now, here is an example. We're going to provide a potential touch points where you can talk about the opportunity, but you may figure out what works best for you in the way that you host coach, and you may modify this slightly, but we just want to give you an idea, because I think at first someone's like 5 times. That sounds like a lot. Will I be bugging them? Will I be nagging them? And again, if you're using your personal brand, your tone of voice, and you're being authentic and sincere, you can really approach this well. So first of all, once that party is booked, send that host packet. And I know now some people are also just sending a digital packet, and let the host know it's on the way. And this is your first opportunity to share the opportunity. So you may say something like, hey, this may be the farthest thing from your mind, but have you ever considered doing what I do? If they say yes, start the conversation about turning this party into their own party. Now, they may not say yes right away. We know that. That's why you have to ask 5 times. So if they say no, that's okay. Suggest that they check out the opportunity brochure in the host packet for more information, and you can chat about it later. Second, once they have that host packet and you've been working together to plan the party, make sure you ask again. You could ask, hey, did you get a chance to check out the opportunity brochure? Have you given it any more thought if you wanted to give the business a try? Your party could be your launch party, and not only would you earn free product, you'll earn commissions on the sales. What do you think? Right? If the answer is still no, you could say something like, just watch what I do before the party and during the party, and we can definitely chat more later to see if this would be a good fit for you. Third, right before the party starts, this is like a last chance opportunity, meaning praise them for the support they've given you so far. And so you may say something like, you're doing an awesome job, you're doing everything we need to do to have a successful party. This is your last chance. We can make this your own party before we start. I can give you this party. You can get the commissions and all of the bookings from this. What do you say? Now, if they haven't said yes yet, just during the party, look for opportunities where it feels right, where you can mention this again. So again, praise them. If they're doing an awesome job posting every day, commenting, let them know like what you're doing is exactly what I'm doing. I know like you would be so much fun to have on the team. And then also remind them, once that party qualifies and they can use one of those host credits, let them know. You could say, hey, the party's qualified. You can use one of these host credits. Check out the kits when you get a chance, right? So these are all like natural little opportunities. And at the end of the party, you have that one last extra moment. You could say something like, I just wanted to ask one more time. Are you sure you don't want to give this a try? I would be more than happy to give you the bookings from this party to help get you started. Now, again, this is just one example of how you can plant the seed 5 times. You have to use the words that feel natural to you in your personal brand and figure out where does it make sense in your host coaching system, in your journey. Again, I think what's most important is that you're just authentic and you keep it conversational. And it's not just, do you want to join the team? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Like really make it conversational. Now, last, if they don't say yes, make sure you invite them to your VIP group. This is an opportunity for you to continue to build the relationship after the party and keep the door open so you can stay connected. All right. Now, since you've been
Jackie?
Yeah.
Jackie, I'm sorry, this is Danny. Can you go back to the previous slide for one moment? We have a lot of questions about what the digital host packet is. Are you able to explain that a little bit more, or where consultants can find those resources?
In terms of the digital host packet, I will probably not be the best expert to answer this. We know that some consultants create their own materials for their host and they just send it electronically. One of the things that you can find in the Dash resource library is paperwork from the new consultant kit. And within there, there is something called a party planner. And I believe this is also available on marketing imagery. And that is something that you can give your host so they can start thinking about who to invite in the party and so forth. And it does have a picture on the back side of the kits and the host kit credit. So there's some people who have decided right now that maybe they don't want to send out host packets and they're doing things very digitally. So that is a resource that you can send to their host to help them get started with the party. But I also know consultants do their own thing too, and they supplement the host packet with their own materials.
Just a quick, this
Thanks,
is Kylie.
Jackie.
Oh, hi, sorry. This is Kylie. Another tip for that is if you go to marketing imagery, just search host packet and it'll bring up a lot of the resources for you with one click.
That's great.
No, thank you, Danny and Kylie, keeping me honest here. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about host engagement in the party. Since you've been building that relationship with your host from the beginning of the party and before it started, it is much easier to ask to have your host engage in the party each day by posting, commenting, and doing the work to make the party a success. So first, ask your host to engage in the party every day by posting engagement posts or conversation starters. Create a system on what you'll have your host post each day in the party. And we've shared this tip before, but sometimes it helps to have themes every day just to help you remember, like Selfie Monday, Conversation Starter Tuesday, Wish List Wednesday. Most important, be intentional and strategic on what you have your host post. So for example, when your host posts their favorite product, it's a way for the host to social sell, perhaps feature a product that's like a classic Pampered Chef product that maybe you don't have in your party, but also gives them the opportunity to try the apron on a little bit. Now, why do you want your host to do conversation starters? Guests are more likely to comment on the host posts since it will show up more in their news feeds. So the more comments on the post means it will get more views. And third, have your host post a wish list post. This opens the conversation to see what guests are thinking about in terms of maybe some bigger products, some of our power tools, and you can start a conversation with guests about products they are eyeing. And this is going to open up the door for you to even approach them about bookings. Now, when you are coaching your host every day, I think one great tip that we've learned from our consultants is try sending a voice clip or a quick video. And the reason why is, again, that kind of allows them to see more of you. It feels more authentic and connected. And sometimes it's really easy if you're sending a really long text message just for the host to glaze over it and really not act on it as much as they may if they hear it directly from you. Now, oh, and I see there's a question about what's a host packet. We can definitely find some more information about that in Dash, and I know our panel will help answer that question more. So in the past Teach Me webinars, we have mentioned the host challenge. And the host challenge is when you challenge your host to find 3 friends that would want to host the next party. Now, for each party booked, they get a future product for 50% off at that party. Now, many consultants also offer an extra incentive too, like a small gift when they have 3 friends booked from that party. And we recommend you do whatever is best for you and your business. Now, here is an example of words from National Executive Director Stacy Itzel from this past week. She sent it to me, how she booked a party from the host challenge. Again, I'm going to just warn you, there is a lot of copy on this text. This is probably one of those things you're going to want to go to the playback to review again. But again, we just want you to get the essence of how this looks in a message. All right. So hi, Nancy. Thanks so much for joining my online Pampered Chef fundraising party this past week. We have learned so much and raised money for the Humane Society at the same time. I wanted to check with you to see if you might be interested in hosting a party as well. Stacy has been so easy and fun to work with, and it literally only takes a few minutes a day to post one thing that she sends you. I know that this has been a welcome distraction for many of us, and I've appreciated the recipes she shared as I'm cooking at home a lot more. You can host to earn free products, or you can make it a fundraiser to raise money and awareness for any organization, like I did. She has openings in May right now, so it's not even something you have to do right away. Here's the best part. When you book your own party with her, the Humane Society will receive an additional cash donation. I'm only 3 shows away from the goal I set. I'll attend if you have one. What do you say?
And then Stacy comes in. So I'm going to play the part of Stacy. I hope I can do her justice. So, hi, Nancy. I would love to work with you. Sharon thought of you because she thought you'd make a great host and would like to earn some freebies or raise money for a charity of your own. It's super easy, just a few seconds a day. What do you think? Now, here is her reply. Here is Nancy's reply, and I love this. Hi, Stacy. Boy, you are really good. I can see why you've been so successful at this business. I appreciate your energy and follow through. Here's the best part. To be honest, if I hadn't received this personal text, I probably wouldn't be saying this. But I think I would like to consider hosting. It doesn't have to be right away, does it?
Nancy, it is easy. The best part is you don't have to clean your house to host a party. And right now, people are stuck at home looking for a diversion. If you host, be sure to invite me as a guest. I mean, what Craig said was like, if that person didn't ask, she wouldn't have hosted. Yep. So it's so important that we're reaching out and asking. Okay, so here is our last tip around host coaching. And it's all about closing the party strong. So Senior Director Emily Kerrigan does this in every party that brings in 2 to 10 more orders. Yes, up to 10 more orders a party. So towards the end of the party, she creates a list of all the guests that commented and liked posts, but haven't ordered yet. Now, then she asks the host to reach out to these guests with a message. And this is what she is sharing to our host. I can't believe it's already the last day of your party. So far, your sales are up to whichever. It's amazing. Hopefully, we can squeeze in some more orders today. So I went through all of the comments and wrote down names of everyone who has interacted but hasn't ordered yet. If you want to reach out to them and send a little message with a reminder that the party ends today and include the link to order, that would be awesome. Now, what Emily has found is that most hosts are willing to do this extra step, especially if you're reaching out to guests who've engaged in the party in some way. And they just want to make sure their friends don't miss that door for opening. Now, I'm curious in the chat, how many of you do this consistently in your parties?
Every show. I do. Me. I do this.
Awesome.
Excellent.
So I hope that
yes,
this is
and it's a miracle. Oh, I love that one.
Awesome. So yeah, hopefully for those of you newer to the business, this is a great tip for you to do in your first party, something you can act on right away.
Yep.
Now, I just shared a lot on host coaching tactics that work right now. So as a recap, you want to build that relationship. You want to plant the seed 5 times about joining your team. You want to daily encourage your host daily to participate in that party. Use that host challenge to help get bookings, and partner with the host to have a strong close. Now, in the beginning of our session, we focused on creating your personal brand. Now it's time to bring that to life in your parties through videos and going live. Live streaming is a great way to connect with your audience and engage with them with authentic content in real time, and that helps you build relationships. Now, what better way to show your audience the real you and to see Pampered Chef products in action from a real user than doing it in video? And if you're already going to cook something up or open up a new product in a box, why not do it live to capture those moments? All right, so going live has so many benefits. Reports say that by 2022, online videos will make up more than 82% of all consumer internet traffic. And over the last month, the number of US users watching live videos on Facebook has surged 50% compared to February. Now, going live can boost your presence in news feeds so you can reach even more people. And we've seen firsthand from parties we observe that consultants that go live and create their own videos have higher sales. And it's really the best way for guests to get to know the real you, see the products in action, and build trust. Now, one of the top questions that we get is, how do you go live if you run multiple parties at one time? Now, the short answer is you can't, but you can share a Facebook Live from a business page into your different parties and your VIP group. To do this, start your live stream from your Facebook business page so it's saved in a video library that is able to be publicly accessed and even repurposed. Once your video is complete and saved, you can use that video link to reshare the video in your VIP group, in virtual parties. You can even send it in a private messenger conversation, and even on your personal Facebook wall. Plus, you have the added bonus of reaching people who follow you on your business page that may not be in your groups.
So, are you new to live streaming, or do you just need a little bit of help? So we've got a couple of tips that we've got not only on Dash, but we're going to share with you. We actually have a task in Dash called Going Live on Social Media, but we would not be doing you justice if we didn't cover it here today. So I got a couple of tips for you. The first one is just do it. Now, it's really hard for me to say those 3 words because I used to work for Adidas for like 11 years, and those 3 words are like sacrilege to me, but it's so true. Just do it. The first step is always the hardest. So start with something that you're passionate about, something you know well, so you feel the most confident about what you'll be talking about or doing. And look, it doesn't have to be a long video. People tend to have short attention spans, so there's no need to go live on a single topic for an extremely long amount of time. It can be as simple as a 60-second Facebook Live about your Facebook favorite product, or a 3-minute live stream welcome and introduction video. So keep it simple for not just you, but also your audience. The second tip is just be consistent. Don't get discouraged if you only have a few viewers at first. Keep it up, and your audience will grow. Plus, you'll see more views even in the replay. Also, plan ahead so you feel prepared and you feel confident. Use the live streaming guide that we have in the Dash resource library to just help you prepare. This is incredibly helpful for anyone that's nervous and needs to plan, like me. If you need to, go live to just yourself the first time and learn the ropes so you just get used to it. Also, grab your audience's attention. Before you go live, tease your topic on your social media channels. Also, give your audience a reason to care. Remember that your video should be engaging, so give them a reason to show up and then give them a reason to stay. And lastly, and most certainly not least, do not worry about being perfect. Don't worry about oops moments. Live streaming is all about being authentic and connecting with people. So it's okay if mistakes happen. Have a laugh. If you mess up, acknowledge it. Just move on. And last, just be strategic in what you're sharing. Like, think about this. Feature power tools that are part of the monthly host special. Your followers and guests need to see these products in action. See how they can solve a problem and create the need to have it in their kitchen. Going live in your VIP groups and in your parties can help you get more of those bookings that you're looking for. And again, a lot of this is covered in Dash. If you want to learn more about going live and just other video tips in general, again, go to that social media program in Dash. A lot of that is covered in there to be able to help boost your business in this virtual landscape and in video. So far we've talked about the importance of building a relationship with your host, using videos so your guests can better relate to you and trust you. And now we want to focus on other ways you can build relationships with your guests in the party. So Jackie, you want to talk about engaging guests in the party?
Yeah, so I think this is one of the top questions we get. And I think the most important thing you can do to engage with guests in the party is make sure you are active in the party. So if you use a scheduler to post your post for you, make sure you don't let the scheduler do all the work for you. You need to check into your parties. So carve out time every day to interact with people. And you're going to want to comment on their responses and chat just like you would if you were chatting face to face, right? Now, I think another thing that's really important that we want to spend some time on is talking about games. Consultants share with us that guests love games, and it brings out this like competitive nature. And we've seen a wide variety of games used in parties. And it's important to use games in a way that feels right to you. And so we wanted to share just a couple examples today that some of our virtual party leaders are using and having success with. Now, these games provide opportunities to open the door for one-on-one conversations, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So first example, Senior Director Danny Calentine uses a tic-tac-toe board. Last month, she had over $10,000 in sales and says that this board has really boosted her engagement in parties. And essentially, guests are challenged to do 3 items in a row, get multiple rows and go for a blackout. Asking guests to post a picture of your favorite product or play the games helps boost that engagement. And so those are squares that she has on this tic-tac-toe board. But she's also strategic to ask things that grow her business, like book a party, grab a kit, join my team. And she encourages guests that for each time they get a tic-tac-toe, they need to send her a message for that prize. Again, this opens the door for those one-on-one conversations. Now, this is something that Danny has created herself. It's not something that we have in marketing imagery, but I recommend that you kind of take the idea of this and apply it to your business and what you feel comfortable with in terms of prizes or giveaways and so forth. A prize can be as simple as a season's best, a free e-cookbook, and some of our smaller little things that you can add to an order.
Yeah, and I think also like allowing your personal brand to inform like what games you want to create is a huge connection and will just create so much more authenticity than just taking what you see here, but use it as a starting point.
Yes. And so another idea that we have for you is from Erin, and Erin has had success using the hidden image game. I'll be curious to see if anyone spots the hidden image. So this is a game when you purposely place a
Mary got it.
image in your post. So you can see that last month she did toilet paper, obviously because of the nationwide shortage. And so guests can earn tickets throughout the party when they find a hidden image. They have to comment on the post that they found a hidden image, but they have to message her the exact location, right? So once they message her, this door opens the door for one-on-one conversation. So the goal is to get guests to message you, right? Once you do, what's next? You want to build, am I on the right thing?
Yeah, we want to talk about that once you have the opportunity.
I'm sorry, I was like, your image wasn't matching what was on my paper. Go ahead, Craig, I'll let you take this.
I just want to talk about that getting people into a one-on-one conversation and truly chat, moving it out of the mess, like moving it out of the comments box and into a one-on-one chat. That's where the magic really happens. So that's the goal. That's the point of a lot of these games, to get people engaged, absolutely, because more comments, higher up on the feed, a lot of that sort of stuff. But it's able to turn those comments into a one-on-one chat so you can work your magic.
Yes, thank you, Craig. See, I'm not perfect either. I messed up.
Happens.
Yeah, it happens. So like Craig said, the goal is to get the guest to message you. And so what's next once that happens? You want to build a connection, find some commonality, really compliment the guest if they've been a great guest in the party, and really ask about the opportunity. So this is what Erin does. This is her progression when she is talking with guests in that one-on-one message. And I just want to point out, this is how Erin gets 50 to 75% of her bookings. It's through this one-on-one messaging. So her first reach out is super simple. The guest just responded to you or reached out to you for an answer of a game. Keep it simple and praise them. And you may just say, hey, great job on that answer. Next, she may, on her second reach out, say something like, hey, are you having fun in the party? This is a great way to get some casual feedback on how the guest is perceiving the party. On the third reach out, ask if they have their eye on anything. Have they checked out the catalog yet? Do they need help finding the catalog link? Is there anything that you can do to help them select products that are right for them? And this is a great time to connect personally and ask them a little bit about their cooking style. It could be, do you love to cook? Do you hate to cook? Are you cooking for kids? Do you have a picky husband? Etc. On that fourth reach out, if the guest has really been engaged in the party, and you've had that back and forth conversation, right? Praise them for their participation in the party. You may say something like, oh my God, you were so much fun to have in the party. You're such a rock star. We should continue the fun with you next month. This is opening the door for bookings, right? And you can also use this approach for recruiting too. You could say, oh my God, you're so much fun. You've ever thought about doing what I do? Now, if the guest says no, don't be afraid to try one more time. So you may say something like, you're essentially doing what the host is doing, just popping into the party, commenting, being engaged. Why don't we give it a try? Now, if the guest is still not interested, again, same thing like we said with recruiting. Make sure you invite these really engaged guests into your VIP group. This will allow them to stay connected with you, and this is where your future bookings and team members can come from, your VIP group. Now, in most situations, we've talked about the importance of getting the guest to message you first. And some of that really has to do with the Facebook changes that we've seen happen over the last month or so. But there's going to be opportunities where you really want to be on the lookout, where you should really be connecting with someone in the party. So I think the perfect opportunity is looking at who is engaging in anything that you're sharing around recruiting. So for example, we have here an Ask Me Anything post, or if you're doing like a video about recruiting. If a guest is actively asking questions, first ask them to message you so you can share more and answer more questions, right? And if they don't message you, you may want to take that moment to try to friend them and then message them directly so you can share more information. Again, once you're in this private chat, this is the opportunity for you to make sure you can answer questions they have about the business, continue to connect, and then, suggest giving the business a try. All right. Now, connecting after the party. For the guests who've ordered and they didn't get a chance to connect with you during the party, make sure you're connecting after they place an order. And here is a tip from Danny Calentine. So one thing that she's been doing is she lets guests know that anyone order gets a free gift from her. And she's actually sending them a virtual stoneware e-cookbook that she has found in our Under Consultants Corner. And this is the message that she posts with the thank you to have them reach out to her. So Lisa, thank you so much for supporting Libby today with your order. And don't forget that all your orders receive a free cookbook from me as a thank you. Be sure to shoot me a message to claim your goodie. This has really been a huge hit, and this really helps to lead to a conversation to build that relationship. And then she can later then ask for bookings. Again, she's not asking for a booking right away. It's about building the relationship first. So typically what happens is they will reach out and say, hey, I'm claiming my goodie, right? And then this is how she responds. Yes, first, thank you again for supporting Libby this week with your order. With how often we seem to look up recipes on Google or find recipes on Pinterest, I'm excited that I'm able to gift you this exclusive Pampered Chef virtual cookbook that you can save right in your phone or tablet. No extra space needed on the shelf or in a drawer. And here is my personal favorite. Do you own any stoneware already? Again, just opening up that door for conversation. So as a recap, one-on-one conversations are where that magic happens. It lets you connect with guests, build connections, and you have the chance to go for that booking or even ask them to join your team. And this is really how you have sustained continued growth with your business. And again, if you can't connect during the party, it's important you're connecting afterwards with anyone that orders. This is the secret to growing your business.
So we have covered a lot today in Virtual Parties 201. I think we've really given you those 5 tips, but before we do a quick recap and before we open up the floor for some more Q&A, definitely want to do one activity where we turn it over to you. I want you to write this down. This can be in the chat or on your piece of paper that you've been working with so far. What is the one thing that you learned today that you're going to do immediately? What's the one thing you're going to immediately implement? Digital host packets, I love it. I'll find the recipe ebook. Go live. That's a huge one. Excellent. Plant the seed 5 times. I love it. Second question, what's one thing that you learned today that you never thought of before, but you're going to start to try in your business? You might not do it right now, but you might want to try. Got some ebooks, going live, digital packets, share more family pics. Oh, so good. That's truly authentic and that speaks to your personal brand. I love it. And lastly, what is something you just want to learn more about? VIP party group. We actually have a training in Dash about that. Yep, VIP groups, those are in trainings in Dash. That's in party training. So make sure that you go through party training and find VIP groups. Great, following up with guests. Excellent. So with all of this, like I've said, we've covered a lot today. Today, we learned a lot of different ways you can up your virtual game. So your intended actions lead to increased sales, bookings, and growing your team. But the most important thing to do is really anchor yourself in why you do this for your business and staying consistently true to your personal brand. So with that, we want to open the floor up for some Q&A. We've got 6 minutes left. So hit us hard. Hit us with your best shot.
Hey, this is Danny. I'm going to kick this off. I've seen a lot of questions about what a VIP group is. I'm 99% sure that the VIP group training is under the social media training in Dash. But also to give you a little context here, a VIP group is a Facebook group that you create off your Facebook business page. So you still want to have a Facebook business page. That's how you'll run all your parties. But your VIP group gives your customers more visibility to you, and it's a more engaging, more personal way to keep in touch with your customers and past hosts. Also, we're looking to explore this topic a little bit deeper in one of the upcoming Teach Me webinars, so stay tuned there. But in the meantime, you can also reach out to other consultants and teammates who have VIP groups to pick their brains as well.
Yeah, and one thing to kick off on what Danny said, because I saw this come up on chat, is like the difference between what I should be posting on your business page and your VIP group. And consider your business page like a home landing for your business. And that VIP group is where you want to be spending some extra time, having your host and guests join that group and keeping them connected to what you're doing in your own kitchen each week, and then sharing what's new with Pampered Chef as well.
Yep.
And I know, Craig, before we got to the recap slide, I think there was a couple requests to go back to that connecting after the party slide, and maybe we can just keep that up for a minute.
Sure, I can do that.
Thank you.
And I will say, in regards to that, guys, go find the replay as well if we missed something, or if you want to spend a little bit longer on a slide. Go back to the recap, go into the stir. It should be up tomorrow at some point. Just search Teach Me, and you can find this replay along with all of the other Teach Me's that we've been doing. So even if something you just missed, you can go back and watch this all over again, and even fast forward through some of our witty banter and find what you were looking for.
And I know there's some questions about where to find the ebooks. When you are in Consultant's Corner and you go to the Explore area, there is a, for a lack of a better word, card that says recipes, and I believe ebooks are there for you to look and check out. There's some there for stoneware and some of our other products that you can use.
And this is Kylie, Jackie. That answers one of the questions that somebody had too about the ebooks are not limited to the real power tools like the air fryer or the blender, but there are some for things like stoneware. So there's a variety. Recommend you checking them out.
Jackie, here's a question maybe you can explain a little bit more. It's when you're at a point where you're starting to get more parties booked, how can you run multiple parties at the same time?
No, that's a great question. And I know that some of our most successful virtual party consultants do run multiple parties at a time. And so there's two ways that you can do it. One, you can continue to run each individual party. And what is the best thing for you to do is create a system for yourself that you're doing everything within the same cycle, meaning you're setting up the parties on the same day, you're kicking off the parties on the same day, and you're wrapping them up on the same day. That's just going to make it easier for you to be doing all of the same activity each day in each party. Now, the second approach that you can take is something we call block parties. In block parties, there is a training on this in Dash. Some consultants have a lot of success with this. Some others have found that they like to do the individual parties. What a block party is that when you gather anywhere from 2 to 5 hosts together in one party. So instead of running 5 individual parties, you have one group with 5 hosts in it and their guests. And the way that you make sure that each guest orders from the right party is in your announcement. You make sure you specify, if you're here for Libby, here's your shopping link. If Danny's your friend, here's the shopping link. And it's just as simple as that. You can run the party with the same content. And what people have found with block parties is because you're inviting more people into the party, there's more engagement and more visibility in the newsfeed because more people are commenting. Any other questions? Maybe time for one more.
I have one more, Jackie, that came up a few times in the Q&A, which was about best ways to get your host to engage. I think that we shared a lot of ideas today, but I know that we have a lot of newer consultants as well, which is so awesome. We're so glad that you are jumping into these trainings and learning about your business right away. But I'm going to also drop into the chat right now a link to the Virtual Party 101. So, and we do talk quite a bit about host engagement there. So for people who have those specific questions, I'm going to go ahead and drop that into the chat as well. That's another great resource for you.
Yep, and I think here's one thing, you know, just to kind of ground yourself in, and we hear this a lot with our leaders, especially if you're doing 4 parties a week, you may have one party that's a flop. You may do everything in your power to make sure that that host is doing exactly what you want to do. And sometimes it just, the stars don't align, right? And that's why our virtual consultants do run multiple parties a week. So that way they can just offset if there is one party that doesn't go stellar as planned. But I think also just remember to connect with that host like a person. Like, is this a good week for you? You just never know what's going on in their personal life, and they may want to decide to move the party, or they may be like, oh, no, I'm sorry, and reconnect them to the party too. So, but yeah, doing that daily host coaching is super important, and just giving them gentle reminders of what they can do to make the party success is really important.
Yeah, and one more thought on that too, Jackie, and somebody else just put this in the chat. You know, when you are working with your hosts, if you can find the way, so much of what we talked about today is about Facebook specifically, but when it comes to host coaching, find out which way your host prefers to be contacted, because even if the party is being held on Facebook, that doesn't mean that all your host coaching does. So, you know, find out if they like to call or text or do email, because you can still connect with them that way outside of the party too.
Yep.
Great.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, it's 1:01. I cannot thank you all for joining enough. We covered a lot today. Again, if you want to, go back over this again, just go to the Stir, type in Teach Me. You'll be able to see not just this replay, but all of them. Go back through, continue to learn, continue to find those other nuggets that you may have missed, or, in the future, you're like, ooh, that would have been really cool that I can apply right now. So continue to look that up. Continue to take your trainings in Dash. We've got so much of content in there for you. I thank you guys so much. Jackie, again, thank you so much for taking us through all this wonderful learning. And thank you, Kylie, Danny, and Libby for manning the Q&A like you always do so well. And again, thank you guys so very much. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And look forward to seeing you next week.
Yep.
Bye, guys.